So what you've heard about in terms of the vulnerabilities and the mitigation that we've done has actually helped us a lot. And just to put everybody at ease, as Tom said, I've got to be part of a crew that has a handle on what to expect and how to deal with it. I want you to know what I was doing last year just before Irene arrived and hit the coast. Like any good planner, I took a vacation in mid-August with my family to Rehoboth Beach. I figured, let's go down to Delaware. It's the middle of hurricane season, what could possibly happen? We only have a 1% strike probability, so we went down. So on a Tuesday, I believe it was, I'm kneeling in the sand, and I sort of felt dizzy. And I thought, this is a little bit weird. And then my wife was sitting in a sand chair next to me. She says, would you stop shaking my chair? And then my daughter jumps up, because she's a little weather geek. Gee, I wonder where she got that from. And she starts pointing at the ocean. We're having an earthquake. There's going to be a tsunami. You got to get out of here. And then everybody all around us looks at me, because I didn't realize that I had my state police baseball cap on. And they're like, wondering, what do we do about this? I'm thinking, this is a Steven Spielberg movie happening right here. What am I doing here? 3 days later, what ends up happening to us, we're watching the news, wrestling with what do we do. And then the governor gets on, and there's a scroll on the bottom of the TV that says all out-of-staters need to leave because the hurricane's coming. So from our perspective, from the NJOEM's perspective, we want to thank the Weather Service, the National Hurricane Center, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware for being good citizens and leaving on time, because that made it a lot easier for us to do what we did right during the height of our worst possible time, right before Labor Day, when everybody's down the beach and wants to stay there for their week. They don't want to leave. And plus, we have this attitude that it's not going to hit us. It's always going to curve out to sea. But when you look at the models, when people like who's in our office, we study the long-term impacts of a storm, the 5-day forecast we're in contact with. We're on a first-name basis with the folks in National Weather and in National Hurricane Center. And we look at these models and we see it's coming. It's not going out to sea. There's nothing happening up in the Great Lakes region that's going to bounce it away. It's coming. So our preparedness, what do we do? And what do we learn from it? I like to equate, just like what my predecessor said up here, I like to equate the way that Irene struck us to be similar to something like having a glass of water up there on the table, and you spill the glass of water. Oh, all right, we've got a mess. We have to clean up that glass of water. Now compare that to a wave coming out from over there and just coming over and taking this entire building away and all of us are drowned. The magnitude impact is not just slightly incremental, it's logarithmic. What we got hit with was a glancing blow, a very glancing blow. We were very lucky. I was in Gloria down the shore with my dad when that happened on Long Beach Island. And I remember looking in one of the windows. I'll never forget. It's one of those 10-second clips that's stuck in your head. I have one of looking in a window, and it was screened on the outside, and we had the glass down, and the water was this deep inside the window. The wind held the water in against the screen. All of that storm surge has the potential to come here. And we are tied with 2 other places in the country for where there's a funneling effect. In the New York Harbor, same thing on the Delaware, just like Sarasota, and just like New Orleans. And we've seen what happens to those places. So all of these things, our job is to look at what happens to them, look at how they respond, they prepare, and do some lessons learned. So in conclusion, what is it that is the big thing that we're doing? You won't see a lot of this, because it's all about how state government and county government and local government responds. But our big thing this year that we're doing is what we're calling a Hurricane Incident Annex to our State Emergency Operations Plan. And within it, we're doing a Hurricane Decision Timeline. And what we've done is we've drafted it and we've circulated it to each of our 17 ESF coordinators. And ESF stands for Emergency Support Function. So that's all the functions of state government. And that's made up of key stakeholder agencies that are both part of state government and then allied agencies. So we've circulated this timeline, and it starts at 0 and then -hours. What our job is to do is to work in a coordinated fashion and figure out what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and start talking about it in incident action periods prior to the arrival of the storm. So in our office, once something is born off the western coast of Africa, we're watching it. It comes along that road, and it either makes a right turn and comes up towards us, or it goes left, thank you, into the Gulf, sorry you guys down there. But when it makes that right-hand turn, we start activating, we start working. We're looking. It might be just a babysitting routine where there's just a couple of us in our emergency operations center, but we're looking and we're talking to people. Department of Health starts doing some actions. DOT starts doing actions. If they're going to do some road work, they'll cancel it down the shore. Health will start looking at their patients that need special ambulatory arrangements. We'll look at special needs patients. These early actions are very, very subtle, but in our hurricane timeline, we'll have those mapped now, 120 hours out or even longer. And as it comes down to zero, we're all buttoned up, our emergency responders have done their job, and we've done the best that we can, and then we wait out the storm. And then we have plus hours on the other side. And that's what the public usually sees a lot of, is how we do our recovery efforts, which is a lot of the people that are here. And we're very proud of how we do our long-term recovery. But when you look at the numbers of what we had record-breaking floods in 2 of our river basins, and most of it was in Passaic. Now imagine something that blows up the Delaware as well as hitting the front coast. And the Delaware region, which has the east and west branch, I can vouch for last week driving to work coming up Route 29, it was an Ovaltine-colored river close to its bank. Beautiful weather. Where did all that water come from? It rained like hell in northern New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, and southern New York. So the east and west branch of the Delaware got loaded up. 3-4 days later, it came down to us. So we have to work all that stuff together. And our partners in DEP, our partners in transportation, and the rest of the agencies, we work as a team on things. In closing, I would like to say thank you to Commissioner DEP for being here. I happen to be a out-of-control surf fisherman, and it took every ounce of my energy not to be standing here in chest waders and be out here and be able to smell the bait and smell the stripers out there. I've already caught one, and I'm going to catch a lot more. So I want to thank the environmental folks that are here for giving us incredibly fantastic fishing waters and beaches. They are, I can vouch, I walk a lot of beaches, and compared to when I was a kid, they are absolutely clean, and it is a great place to live. So I thank you very much. I'll be here afterwards if anybody's got any questions.